Last week, Greg took unapproved PTO to go on vacation this week, so he's not with us. However, we have, some may say, upgraded to our friend of the show, Mr. Elliott Alvis. Welcome back, my friend. How are you doing today?
Good, Chad. Thank you for having me as always. It's fun to be here. Don't mind filling in when Gregson's slacking off, for lack of a better word.
I mean, if
No
anyone
one needs
deserves a
vacation.
vacation, it's that guy, but
I know, literally, if anybody needs a break, it's him. But I can still give him crap for it. No, I'm good. Like I said, happy to be here. Happy to share Wednesday with the boys.
yes. Oh, we hopefully we do have a reoccurring female viewer as well now.
Yes, I did. I think I've been on since then, and she was very interactive in the comments, so I enjoyed that.
Wait, helping our
So,
demographics, but
yes, heck yeah.
yeah, we have some interesting stuff. You all probably seen the thumbnail. Monterey Car Week was this past week or currently going on. I don't know. That'll kind of give you an idea on which one of us the thumbnail was generated off of. And then obviously it's been a minute since Elliott's been on the show, so we'll do a quick little well, wherever it goes, catch up. But yeah, it's should be fun, should be exciting, and I guess first things first. What you been up to, my friend?
Well, aside from just regular life, I've been getting back into videos. Since I've been on, I have made 3 more videos at least, which is a lot more than the last few times. These long form things. And I just had a video released today, which was exciting. On the 1967 GTO which I gotta brag on the dealership, because I don't know if you must have watched it, because we did talk about it a little bit. But we have this new dealership in town that is just like cool cars. Like it's like literally somebody gave somebody the keys to the kingdom of buying cars and was like, hey, if it's cool, get it in inventory. And so we have that here in Wichita now. And I know the general manager, so I've got like access, which is even better. But I got to take something out of there from, like, the second I knew that they were open, I was like, okay, well, I got to do this GTO, because it had that the feature, which I kind of led to with the whole point of the video. And I mean, I will probably say watch the video to find out what it is, but it's also not doing extraordinarily well because it's an old car. So we can talk about it, because it is a funny feature, and even if you know what the feature is, it's still a good video. So I got to do that today, and like I said, we can talk about that a little bit. And then coming up I leave next week, but I will be going to Cruise Auctions, which formerly you guys might know I did worldwide. It's the same company, it's the same people, new name. I actually just got this mailer today, as if I'm not going.
Reminder of this
So
thing you
I'm going to
agreed to
be.
do.
This is I want to say, favorite time of year, because, as Chad knows, because I make him sick with the things I send him. When at the end of the day, I'm like, look what I got to drive today. I literally get paid to go drive and talk about cars, and it's like again, another candy store of 300 cars to pick from and do content with. And it's just so fun. And this is going to be like our biggest sale yet. It's of Labor Day. It coincides with the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Festival. So if you like old cars at all, those are like 3 of the most significant pre-war names. And it's like the Concours d'Elegance of those cars, all happening in the same town at the same time. So like in the comments already, why isn't bro out notarizing? That's pretty funny. Thanks, Topher.
I was just commenting back. I was like, the man can multitask.
Yeah, I can multitask, but stamping's fast. You wouldn't believe it. I'm not even going to review the document. But no, I'm really excited for the upcoming cruise auction. It's going to be huge. We've got some big stuff going across the block, and like I said, it's just a huge auction. I think we're expecting 300 plus cars. It's a 3-day auction instead of a 2-day. And then if you're into memorabilia at all, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm not. Like, it's not like I feel like some signs are cool, but like I can't deal with like a garage full of them. But we've got some really cool memorabilia, and which a new word I learned. So I always thought memorabilia, part of it was just old gas pumps. But
Right.
like I didn't know there was a word for that. It's called petroleana. And now I'm always going to call old gas pumps that. Like anything that's old oil and gas memorabilia is called petroleana. And we've got
Really?
some really great petroleana in this auction.
That is one of the things of all time, I'll tell you
Yeah,
what.
see, you learn something new every day, and that's one of them.
Man. So is this the new company's first major auction? No, this is their second one since it
This is
started.
the second one, but this is our biggest one. So Labor Day traditionally is so okay. Also, technically, it's the 56th annual because we brought back an old name. So I don't want to get that confused. I know it's on here because I don't want to get in trouble. It's the 56th annual. I can't say it's the second because then they'll be like, dude, no marketing.
I have documentation that says otherwise.
It says it's the 56th, so it's the 56th time, and somehow I've been there for all of them. But
You're a man
no,
of many
it's
talents.
right. It's no, but this is our second big one since the name has been revived. Yes.
No, no. So I guess that brings us in. So is it? I'm guessing with 300 cars, it's a little bit of everything.
It is, and I had you look through some of them just to see if any of them stood out to you, and I think it is a little bit of everything. I mean, obviously we specialize in classics, but I mean, even one of the videos I'm going to take care of right when I get there is we have a bone stock 6-speed Supra Mark IV, and a 355 convertible, and it's the 25th anniversary of Fast and the Furious. And it's funny because both of those cars now have similar resale values.
Tell me they're back to
Um,
back too.
it literally is. So I'm like, I'm going to do a video with just like, what is the comparison of these two cars that nobody in their right mind would have compared back in the 1990s? But somehow now in 2026, you really do have to compare. Do I want a Ferrari 355 or a Mark IV Supra? Um, it's a real thing. But yeah, so we've got that. We've got a lot of classics. Like I said, I know I got to go to our audience is not very much into classics, but since I have this visual aid, the other one I'm really trying to get my hands on is this Duesenberg dual cow Phaeton. That's kind of like the be all and end all boss car for me. As far as if I can get to drive one of those, I will be. I don't know what I'll do after that. It's like that and the Jaguar XJ220, and I'll be like, what's left? What else do I need to do? Like I will have achieved car enthusiasm.
I feel for you, man. No, that's awesome. I mean, most people can't even say they've gotten to drive one or two of, oh, it'd be great if I could drive that car
Right.
and to have the opposite.
I just that's just the one, but especially with my position now, like I kind of know there's an expectation of a certain car that I just will get to drive, and that's still like up there where you're like, I don't know if they'll let me do that. So it's just one of those things. And Duesenbergs are the kind of cars that they only come up for sale every once in a while, and then they go away. Like you don't see them out and about. Like that is not a car that is around. You will never see one at a car show. Um, it's just they go to private collections, and then you have to wait for that person to die, and then one comes up again. Like people don't really, they just don't trade hands that often. And I do like Lewis's comment, the Mark IV all day because you can pop the hood. At first, I was like, you can pop the hood in the 355, but I was like, no, it's the pop the hood.
And
2JZ, no.
the timing belt service is a little easier.
Yeah, the timing belt service is a smidge easier on a Mark IV Supra, and also I feel like they last a bit longer.
Yeah. And the funny thing is isn't the 355, so that they were still doing total displacement with the numbers. They hadn't switched back, or that's a 3.5 liter V8, so only slightly larger than the
So.
Supra.
Right. And it's flat plane crank, and it sounds cool. And
From what I
like
understand,
that
they can
was,
handle a bit of, we'll just say, boost.
if you were so inclined, yes, I've seen builds where people have boosted them, which is pretty cool. I have a soft spot for them because like my first experience, I think the first Ferrari I ever saw in real life was a 355 Berlinetta, coupe. and it's just such a good looking car. And it's like it's as good as the Ferrari wedge design ever got, in my opinion. Like it's because the 348 is too kind of dated looking, but the 355 does the wedge shape right, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's one of
Hey,
that's
there
back
you
when
go.
that's
It's a
back when
goober.
Ferrari
Thanks,
was
Josh.
still making good looking vehicles. Like I personally, the older I get, the more I like the 355 look. Uh,
Yeah.
it'd be you need to get oh, if you could come close to reenacting, like doing a horrible reenactment of the Fast and Furious scene, that would be hilarious. But it's
I
just
know.
real.
I
It's
really do want to, but it's like I'm just gonna be happy to like say it. I just think it's funny to put them in the same video because of the Fast and Furious thing. But then the reality is that they are very close in value. A bone stock hardtop Supra and a 355 Spider are gonna be. I mean, I want to say within 20 grand of each other,
which is insane.
which
Score
is
one for the
nuts.
JDM fanboys,
Yeah.
or damn them for making these cars so expensive.
Right, exactly. But also, 355s have gone up in value too. Like, they used to be sub 100 grand, like for a while until COVID. Like, there was a time you could get a decently clean 355 for like 70 or maybe even 65. I say that, and I also know a guy who, sold a Countach for 90 back in like '09. So, you know, all cars have their day and their not day, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though. It's like so
So we
like
have we have Josh in the audience. Joshua, he works for Cruise too, so he's got a head start on making videos and seeing the inventory we have. And he did mention, because I mentioned the 348, we do have a 600-mile 348 Spider, which is crazy. That's very preserved. That
very
is,
preserved. That's a
I'm not kidding. I mean, all Ferraris are pretty low mileage in general, but like 600 miles is like barely broken in, and like it's a 348, so the newest it could be is like 93.
yeah.
So
That's I mean we'll get to stuff like that, but I mean just real quick, just
yeah.
we'll tap in. Just people are chatty and asking questions, but
Hmm.
Gabriel on Facebook asks, "What do you know about the AC McLaren Capri 50? Was it the GTD Mustang of the '80s?" I could say
Ooh,
no,
good
um,
question though.
but it is a. Here's the thing though. I if I was to build a Fox body right now, I'd have to think long and hard on whether or not to do the typical Mustang front fascia or the
Or the
Capri.
Capri.
The Capris are really starting to grow on me really fast.
The Capris are really cool, and you really just don't see them as often. Like, I feel like I
Yeah.
see a Fox body every day. You know, uh,
Yeah.
of
Especially
some
like
sort. Obviously, not like a nice one, but like just in general, I'm gonna see one. But I get pretty excited about a Capri.
yeah, because again, they're interesting. And then if you know, the Fox platform covers way more cars than I have time to go over. But it's
Yes.
I don't know, Capris are always really, really cool. The McLaren ones are always back when like ASC McLaren was like, yeah, they were literally going through the same "we'll touch whatever you pay us to touch" arc as Shelby
Right.
was around that same time.
ASC McLaren made Pontiacs too, so I mean it was whatever.
Yeah,
And okay, Lewis makes a point, which I also say no, but the SVO was also cool. I would not. I don't think there wasn't a GTD back then. Like I couldn't even say like there's just nothing like because even the
yeah,
Cobra R wasn't a GTD. Like we didn't have that. We just didn't have that stuff. I mean, if you think about it, even the biggest performance cars of the day barely had brakes that were good enough. Like they didn't, we didn't have that kind of technology and handling package and prowess that we did. We just knew bigger sway bars, stiffer dampening, and just basically different tuning. But there was nothing that was a full different platform like that is like the GTD.
yeah. Because that was back in like I mean the '80s was all about like your silhouette racing, right? And
Right.
there's a really great video. I think it was done by Automobilista on how there was a period in like the '80s where Ford developed a tube frame chassis to go IMSA GTO racing and Trans Am racing, and it was a Mustang that, believe it or not, for road racing they put a turbocharged 4-cylinder in, but for the endurance stuff they did a 6-liter V8. It was a Mustang. Then they put Capri bodywork on it. Then they put Mercury Cougar bodywork on it. Then they put Mercur, whatever, the old Mercurs, which were basically our version of the Sierra, on it. And I mean, it was one of the most dominant platforms, but it was like every 2 years they changed the bodywork on it for reasons. Wow, there's a lot.
We got a chatty group here today. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up, and like I wish the chat, like if I scrolled to a message and or a chat message comment, there we go. And I was like, oh, let me read that, and then there's a new comment and it moves, and it's like, duh.
Right.
Like
that's why I keep looking over, because I was like, I have the stream on my phone so that I can see the comments in real time and not have you're dealing with the whole like creator platform thing.
Well, yeah, and like you would think, because this is specifically designed for streaming, that it would be beneficial to the streamer / guy who has to solo produce. Not that it's a ton of work, but don't worry about it, Luis. Just keep on commenting. If we get to it, we get to it. Don't worry about it. I don't want anyone to ever feel like you can't comment just because might be the squirrel that distracts me. At any rate, let me see here. Oh, I did want to talk about one thing at the auction that I think is absolutely hysterical, and I could only hope comes after like the most meticulously restored pre-war car that like people like, the crowd is like waiting for, and then this thing that's Elliott. Hey, everybody say hi to Elliott Squared.
Yeah.
But this thing.
Oh, yes. Isn't this something?
That is
I'm definitely going to. And you know what? I didn't even notice, by the way, from this picture. I didn't notice it the first time I looked at it because I was so distracted with the paint job. It has a little spoiler on top.
Yes, that's like, I'm looking at it. I was like, the more you look at it, the more it is mores.
And then I had to read the description, and this is what I can't wait to see in real life. First of all, I don't know. This thing just rules. But yes, I hope it comes up at a very funny time. But on the inside, did you see that they put a clear engine cover? So yes, so that when you're, like if you've ever been in a van from back in the day, the engine is like in there with you. It's just under a cover, and they've made it clear. Which in this picture, it just looks like a bunch of wires. But
yeah, I'm trying to find. Oh, that's a.
But yeah, there you go. It's like this thing is. I mean, it might be the belle of the ball. I don't know.
I mean, it is as van as vans get. Let's just put it that way.
If you were in van life, I mean, look at the windows are even like have etching.
Yeah, and, that's right. Gosh. Oh, I didn't even see like the whatever on the edges of the windows and stuff, like peak 70s. Like, could you imagine doing this type
of doghouse? That's what it's called, the doghouse. I forgot the term for it.
Oh, I learned something today.
I know. Can you imagine a Wawa 64-ounce sitting up there? Look at that.
Oh man.
Stained glass, like in a van.
Yeah. The stained glass, the American flag pillows, the massive old school stereo
thing. That's it's so cool.
That's really, really cool. Like that's one of those things like you're just, I mean, I guess like people who like are quote unquote van life today just don't know.
No,
your parents are doing
life.
It better.
Anybody who has a Sprinter, I'll be like, no, you guys don't get it.
Where's your stained glass? Oh, you don't have any. Get out.
Yeah.
So that was like
rules. I've thought about getting like for me and my co-host Kayla, because I don't know if we can do it during the broadcast, but I was like for a pre-shoot, I was like I want to get mullets from Amazon and just do a little thing in front of this thing.
I mean, I think it would be hilarious if with no context, like literally no build up, just like whoever's like, the hosts in the booth, so to speak, are like, and now we go to our man and woman on the ground, Elliot, and your co-host, who you just mentioned,
Right.
and name I have already forgotten. Um,
It's okay.
but like,
I
it
didn't
would
really
just
say
be
her name. I just said
hilarious
my
if
coat.
this van pulls up and you both get out of this door and then just don't even acknowledge it. Just start talking about whatever, like that first, like, here's what we have coming up, or blah blah blah. Like, just don't, and then it just drives away.
Everyone's like, "You're in a very distracting van. How did you not mention that?"
Like as it drives away, someone plays a bald eagle noise or something. Like just, um, I know. I
Well,
thought that was
Alicia has checked in, by the way. That must be the regular female viewer.
yes. Hi, Alicia. Chris, what's going on? No worries, you're here.
And Steve's in the chat too.
Yeah, Steve, welcome
So
back, my friend. Good to have you back. We've missed you these past few weeks. Well, when I say we, I mean Greg and I.
I've also missed you
Yes, I
for what it
mean
matters.
that's why we were a little late today, as Elliot was professing how much he misses the oddness of the Steve.
Uh,
But
no, this is good. I'm glad you brought this up because the van is really something.
But and just real quick, refresh everyone. This will be, when is this auction?
This is September 3rd through 5th
Okay.
in Auburn, Indiana. So if you're in the Detroit area, some parts of Ohio, it's like very northeast Indiana. I'll have free tickets for anybody who wants to come. I've got like a promo code and stuff that you can use and get free entry. So it's Saturday. It's essentially Labor Day weekend in Auburn, Indiana. 56th annual cruise auctions. It's called the Auburn Auction and Show, but it's a big one. It's our biggest one of the year, and I'll be hosting it, doing a lot of content beforehand, and then on-air commentary and driving stuff during the actual auction. It's actually like I'm going to be putting in like 14-hour days during the auction.
But I mean, there's worse ways of spending 14 hours at work.
1,000,000%. Yeah. Let's just hope I don't lose my voice this time, because last time I started to lose my voice and I was just like chugging warm tea to try to keep it together. It worked, but barely. So fingers crossed on that one.
Yes.
Due to the talking being like a really key part of the whole job.
You're just holding up cardboard signs, like, to talk about the car, just like whatever. I can't think of it, and I'm not gonna brain lock myself trying to. But like, instead
it would
of
be
talking,
like Bugs Bunny.
yeah.
But also you would love, because I know you can't watch the whole thing, but you would love that how we've got this bit going where even my co-host gets annoyed with me about Corvettes now, because I can't help it. It's like if there's a Corvette at our auction, it's usually good or significant. So I'm like, well, yeah, we got to talk about it, or we got to drive it, or we got to do this, and like, so we have this back and forth where she'll just kind of be like rolling her eyes, be like, all right, Elliot, what's special about this one?
Well, see, this was born on a rare full moon Tuesday on an Arbor Day during a leap year. Not like just the classic Corvette guy.
Yeah.
Like, why is this unique? But no, that's really cool.
And times where I've gotten to do like my Corvette guy trifecta of driving a 53, 54, and 55 in like the same day. I'm like, we've hit all of the first years. Like, you have no idea. And she's just like, yeah, these all look the same. And I'm like, I know, but they're not. like a little kid.
No, I mean, yeah, it was absolutely.
And I sent you that, because now you brought it up, the main page of the featured cars, that Shelby GT350 Trans Am thing is pretty sweet. Like, for a car, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know about. I'm very intrigued and think that might be the coolest modern Mustang.
I'm coming around quite a bit. Why? Whatever. We'll live with it.
It just auto plays. But I mean, it's literally if you want a GT500 but stick shift and like track oriented.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I wasn't originally a so like, how do I put this? So we all know Ford had the licensing to Shelby. They let that go. That's why we have the Dark Horse and the
Right.
just biblically lazily named Dark Horse
Dark
SC.
Horse SC. Yes, I know. What just brilliant, brilliant folks there.
They, like
Oh,
I
and
remember, I just
Alicia,
remember.
the auction it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So depending on when you're driving through, it's not necessarily during the week. There is a weekend portion.
But I just unlocked myself. But
Sorry.
when these things first
Yes.
came out, so like, but then I started thinking, like, to an interview where I forget who it was. I think it was Farley, who was saying how they want to, they look at Porsche and they're like, that's what we're going after. Like, okay, fine, whatever. You don't have to like build a 911 competitor, but it's kind of that like ethos, that thought with
That
like Mustang.
tiering. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, Dark Horse SC, that is such a dumb name. And then it's like, wait a minute, let's go look at the 911 Turbo. Okay, like they're taking
Yeah.
this thing a little too literal, but one of the so like when these things first came out, they felt like a dark horse with the like they felt a little too much like a dark horse with a Whipple and a body kit.
Right. I was never like super stoked on Shelby American stuff. Like
Yeah, because it
just
just
in
felt
general,
like
I
the
thought it was
name.
overpriced. Yeah, I thought it was overpriced and that they were banking on the name.
You know, um, but like they got the yellow with the all that stuff on the side, even though that was a. Can we just stop calling everything like the TA, the Trans Am? Because there was a Challenger TA, there was a
Yes.
Pontiac Trans Am and stuff like that. Like, okay, I get it, but like, come on, like, we can be more creative than that. But like over time, I've started to starting to dig these a little bit more. Um, I am curious what they've done to the transmission. Those TR3060s are fairly stout, but they're not like T56, TR6060. We're getting really into the
Right.
Mustang minutia. But consider this. You can let your co-host know this was revenge for all the Corvettes you're going to talk about.
That also the Mustang minutia could be the name of your solo podcast.
Yeah, yeah, and then I mean that's going to be. I don't know how many, but if you want to go full nerdy on the current generation, well, not the current, but the S550 Plus platform, because spoiler alert, the S650 is a facelifted S550.
S550. Right.
The video series I'm hopefully going to be able to pull off again. Like I said, the last 3 weeks, I don't mean to keep teasing it without actually having any answers or anything like that, but they're deep diving into Mustangs and specifically the Coyote platform. Uh, Real high level nerdery, cartism, if you will. It's just going to be. I'm cautiously like really looking forward to it. Like I've made the joke. These next 3 to 5 weeks are going to feel like Christmas Eve the entire time. It's like something cool is happening tomorrow. Only for me, could be 3 weeks, could be 6 weeks. I'm not sure when, but at any rate, these Shelbys have started to grow on me because I think the Dark Horse in general has started to grow on me. I originally didn't like the body style, but has really started growing on me.
It's kind of funky at first, for sure.
Yeah, it took some time to figure out if I liked it or not. But there's a cat at my feet.
At least
and like
your
I
cat
said,
stays at your feet.
What's that?
So at least your cat stays at your feet. Mine got to crawl on my shoulders.
Well, she's unfortunately old and doesn't jump like she used to.
So does mine. Mine's 16 or 17.
Oh shit!
But whatever.
Anywho,
anyway, sorry, cat talk. Can't help it.
Yes, if you want the exclusive Chad and Elliott cat podcast, you're gonna have to go over to our Patreon page to see that.
Cats and Corvettes. I can talk about them all day.
There's an inappropriate joke in there somewhere, but but the crazy so like the crazy things about these, the Roushes, the RTRs, right? They all sort of fall into a similar window for me. Where they're a dark horse that's been modified to different degrees and for different purposes and everything. But they are to answer Matthew's question. Does this one have the flat plane crank like the prior? No, this has a Gen
No.
4 Coyote, dark horse, I guess long block with a 3-liter Whipple on it. Let's see if they have any decent pictures.
They do have, yeah.
Not that you're going to be able to see much, but this is just a regular 5.0, 307 cubic inches, or what have you. But they're getting, like, you saw every single one of these that came out, they got over 800 horsepower, and nobody's batting an eye on it. They're literally adding 300 plus horsepower to these things, and the engine's like, cool.
It's crazy. They're crazy stout motors.
Yeah, and it's just
to expand on Matt's thing though, it's just misleading that they're using the GT350, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It's just because they have the naming rights to it now. So we all got not brainwashed, but you just get used to GT350 equals flat plane crank. And since now this is Shelby American, they're just kind of making, I guess, technically more true to the original GT350 kind of vehicle, track focused, more power.
Yeah, I wish they had, because I mean, you know what they also have the naming rights to? GT500. Just saying.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to have. You're probably sick of hearing me talk about this type of particular engine build, but I would have loved to see them really lean into the NA aspect of,
yeah,
because back in the GT350 was literally just the track car with the 289. 350 was literally, I think, the distance between Shelby's shops, and that's how it got 350. Like that
gotcha.
That was it. Like there's nothing. 350 is meaningless elsewhere otherwise. So it was a little, track focused, so stiffer ride, less comfortable. I get in today's day and age, people don't want the track focused thing. They want the thing they think is the track focused thing. So like a slightly stiffer ride, but track focused means fast. And I understand that, 800 horsepower is going to feel pretty damn fast.
Especially when you ruin it yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. That power, that torque, they're at minimum going with a twin disc Serra metallic. And that's not going to be a forgiving shifting, I don't want to say experience, but there's no slip in those. They don't like to be slipped. You can slip them, but so you're once again putting, I think this is 830 horsepower, and don't get me wrong, manual the crap out of everything, to 100%, but that is a crap ton of manual horsepower to go to anyone whose wallet is big enough. I don't know if they're making these with the 10R80. The 10R80 is actually not a bad automatic. It's not quite as good as the 8 HPs, but
yeah, the way I read is this specific Shelby American thing is all manual, like the TAs.
The TAs, yeah.
But I'm sure that there is some setup you can get from Shelby American that has the 10 speed.
Some might argue a his and hers setting.
Literally. I mean, seriously though, how advanced was that for the 60s though?
Select drive automatic. Like, it's like, I'm gonna put it in sport. Remember all the commercials when sport shifting was like a thing, and like all the commercials be the guy driving, right, and then he
like slapping the automatic,
slap it over to the right side or whatever, and like going through. But I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, it may not be culturally appropriate to call that a his and hers anymore,
right?
But it's very much in line with, I think you mentioned it in your video, it's basically the paddle shifters of the day.
And what I was kind of saying is, like, we kind of take it for granted because even like a Corolla has a paddle shifter now, but it used to be exclusive to performance cars, like performance oriented cars at least. So it's good to see that it kind of started life that way as well. Like select your own thing. Another thing that a transmission that I didn't know existed until the last auction was that Dodge actually had something, and I don't worry, I will do a video on this one if I find one. But Dodge had a transmission called the brainless automatic, and you didn't have an option. It was just a manual valve body automatic, so like it didn't even have a drive. You just had to be ratcheting it back and forth all the time. So that was kind of interesting. I like the execution of the his and her shifter better because at least you could not do that sometimes. But there's another fascinating fact for you.
I mean, here's the thing, and like, not to get too deep into the off topic, but hey, you could also call this the automotive tangent podcast because, but like that era and leading up until I would probably say the mid to late to like some give or take 2 or 3 years around 2010. Automotive was still innovating and motorsports was still innovating. I understand there's still innovations with hybrid and electric and all this other sort of stuff, but like up until that point, the cars on the street and the cars that raced kind of had a parallel, whether it be horsepower,
Yes.
whether it be the tech involved or what have you. And then obviously as we get closer to today, that gap grew. But like it was cool to see, Audi testing out direct injection in the R8 spiders that they raced at Le Mans and things of that nature. Like nowadays with the Le Mans cars, they only need to make 670 horsepower, and I know that's not a small amount of horsepower. Frankly, I would probably tap dance on the dyno if my car ends up making that much power NA. But
that'd be a lot of NA horsepower. But
like,
yes,
Porsche has a 4-liter twin turbocharged V8 that by any metric should be making 1,000 horsepower, right? Like, Luis mentions the V10 TDIs that were at Le Mans.
Yeah, that was a cool era. That was a cool era.
I think those were V12s.
I'm not sure because I know the V10 TDI was the Touareg motor, and that was really cool. But either way, I do remember when we were seeing TDIs at Le Mans. It was like, whoa, that's pretty nuts.
And then it was such a good idea that Peugeot copied them, although I think they went with a V8, V12, because this is actually one of the coolest things. They then not based on this engine at all, but they then made a V12 twin turbo diesel V12 that they put in a crossover. And then they also put it into an R8, but it was, for obvious reasons, that never made it to production. But they said the way the engine produced torque and everything, it scared the test drivers.
I can believe that.
But like
that would be a monster of torque.
But like again, in today's world, and I understand why again, just to use Le Mans as an example because it's the easiest one to kind of make the point I'm trying to say, but in today's world, if you innovate and that makes you faster, you're going to get smacked by the big old fun police that is balance of performance. Now, on the one hand, that sucks because you're limiting innovation. Really, everything kind of blends. It becomes a shade of gray. But on the other hand, it controls costs, and we've never had a healthier car count. Or we haven't had a healthy car count like this at Le Mans in decades. So,
yeah.
At any rate, let me just pull something up. So, at any rate, let's see here. Chris is over on YouTube now. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, would have twisted the R8 in half. They did a full, like, Audi lost their marbles with I would argue Audi's like one-offs with their R8s are some of the coolest cars. Uh, Factory sort of. I wonder if we did this because they did an R8 with a V8. I forget the displacement. I did a video on it, but it's been a
It's
minute.
like a 4.2 or something. Or
No,
no,
not the
yeah.
not the factory one, 4.2. This was like
Okay.
4.8 liters or 4.9 liters, somewhere in that neighborhood. Um, that was a completely bespoke engine. It wasn't based on the 4.2 liter V8. It wasn't basic. It made like 750 NA horsepower, revved past 10,000 because they
Jeez.
partnered with Ducati and it gave it desmodronic valves.
That's sweet.
Like,
Let me answer Matthew's question real quick here. It's not a shrine. It's cotton candy from Bucky's. Uh, it's for my daughters. But yes, it kind of does look like a little shrine. But yeah, we don't have a Bucky. We like our closest Bucky's is like in Texas or something like that. So it's a delicacy here.
and also, Matthew, thank you for the 100 stars on that as well. Appreciate you. And Chris, thank you for the sub. Well, DC. At any rate, now seems like a good time to talk about the thumbnail as we are 41 minutes
Yes.
into the video or the podcast, live show, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
And let's talk about Car Week because that just came through. And I will be fully honest with this. I know Car Week has like the Concours d'Elegance, the classic racing, which, spoiler alert, not overrated. Love the classic racing because they're race cars. They deserve to be raced. Full stop. RIP to the 787B that had a
Yes, I
fiery,
saw that video. Oh.
But there's a lot of Wankel enthusiasts out there who are very much empathizing with them right now. At any rate, why don't you kind of explain to the good viewers kind of what Car Week is? And spoiler, Elliott has actually been to Car Week on multiple occasions.
Yes. So that's why I'm very interested to get into this topic with you because I don't entirely disagree with you. But an overview of what Car Week is obviously it is the week preceding Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance, but also because of that, several other brand specific or geography specific type of car shows. So we have like the Works Reunion, which is like an all Porsche show. They have I'm trying to think. There's a German car show where it's just like all German cars, and it's like they're all on pebble, they're all on golf courses and stuff like that. There's all these. It's basically a week of shows leading up to this big show, and then because of that, the entire area gets kind of taken over by people who've flown in or driven their cars in just to kind of drive around. It's almost like a who's who of the car world. You're driving around to be seen in your cars, and I couldn't believe it until I went because I'm the kind of person who'll still get excited. Like, I mean, I'm in Wichita, so we don't have that many exotics, but like I saw a Ferrari F8 yesterday, and I was like, oh sweet, I was like, oh, that was so cool. And one of the guys who had been before I had gone that I went with was like, dude, I'm telling you, by the time you're done with Car Week, you're not even going to look twice at one of those because you get desensitized because just driving around in town, you'll see the most ridiculous cars. And I almost wish I would have put some of the cars I spotted in this little slideshow here because you're just in traffic with Countach's, Ford GTs and Carrera GTs. And like basically, if you have anything less than a Ferrari 458, like they'll like wave you out of certain like areas. They're just like, you're not coming down this street. Like this street is for whatever. I mean, even look at this picture. As far as the eye can see, F50s. Like that's why I took that picture. I just looked up and I was like, hey, there's an F50. And then I looked up and I was like, oh, there's like 12 of them. Like, like yeah. It's just it's insane. By the way, I lost your audio, Chad. I don't know what happened.
Muted myself.
Oh, there we go. but you know, it's just this thing, and I mean, some of these are from when we were filming Car Trek, but like these are the kind of cars that were just available. It was like that. I mean, if you know what this is, an Aston Martin 177, they only made like 12 of those or
177 of them.
something.
Oh,
Did they even make 177 of
I
them? There's
thought
only
that was
like
the
two.
name. Like
I think
that.
there's only like two in the U.S. Like it's crazy. Um, and that's the Mercedes like W111, where they've turned down offers of like 26 million on it. Like it's just basically it is the I guess I said it before. It's the who's who of the car world. It's the C and B scene thing. You go and people are just driving around up and down Ocean Avenue just to get seen. Now, what ended up happening is because this is that type of event, it draws out a lot of young TikTokers and car spotters that are just flooding the streets. Because trust me, if you are even a casual car spotter, this place, it's just, I mean, it's
easy
overwhelming.
work.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. You're just like, this is crazy. I mean, look at the crowd in that picture. And this is one of the easy to get to events, but they also have events that are not just for exotic cars. Like they have the Concours de Lemons, where it's just like kind of kooky, weird cars that are not so good. And I have pictures from that, but I didn't include them. Yeah, it's kind of a dick wagging contest, as somebody said. It definitely is, but it's got to be a humiliating one because some of these people, it's like if you have like in this, you have a Carrera GT, like that's nuts. That's a showstopper in most cases, but it's not the coolest car there. Like it's you were never going to be the big fish, no matter what. Like we've been to some of these houses like that people rent on a 17-mile drive, and it was like one house just had in the driveway left outside was like an F40, F50 Enzo and like a yellow Carrera GT. And like that was like those are guys just sharing the house for the weekend. It's like it's just like I said, it's just almost impossible to wrap your mind around the level of money and excess and show offness that's there. And like I said, people are driving around. People fly their cars in from Europe. Like there's so many European only cars that are just tagged and just driving around on the streets because they don't care. I mean, once you have that kind of money, and it's a really really cool event. But the thing is, you kind of also have to know what you're doing when you go there because it's so crowded now and so difficult to even move around that it's I mean, there's a reason I haven't been for the last couple of years because I mean, one, I've already done it. I mean, I feel like this is the kind of event you can go to a couple of times and go, wow, this is amazing. And every time I go, there's something different, and it's really, really cool, but you've also kind of done it. Like the finding a place to stay is impossible. It makes for a great image because I've seen a Bugatti Veyron parked outside of a Motel 6 because that's one of the only places to stay. And it's like you see the Motel 6 parking lot full of exotics. Because and also the Motel 6 is charging $1,300 a room or a night for rooms because they can. So it's gotten a little out of hand, as I'm sure Chad has noticed. But if you've actually been, it's even more out of hand than you can imagine. It's like crazy. And then because this is a little off subject, but I just got a text this last week from a buddy who was like, "Oh, it's too bad you're not at Car Week. I had a spare room that I would have given you." And I was like, "Well, if I had known that, I would have gone." Like it's like finding a place to stay is 3/4 of the battle of Car Week. But
I wouldn't. What the hell's going on? I hit something weird. No, I wouldn't know. So here's the funny thing about this is I completely get the appeal of it. I completely understand like I don't even know how you would even begin to have like an equivalency, right? Like I feel like calling it the Super Bowl of like classic cars and exotic cars isn't doing it justice, right? But like there's also parts of me that's like, man, it is in some cases over $700 per person to play golf at Pebble Beach and they're parking cars on it. Like, because I worked in the golf industry for damn near
Oh yeah,
15
that's got to
years.
drive you nuts. The,
That's
the
like,
the other golf course that I saw when we were parking, they were parking cars on it. I'm like, man, they're tearing up this fairway.
yeah, well, on that
Like,
peninsula, there's three golf courses. There's Pebble Beach, there's Spyglass Hill, and uh, believe it or not, Monterey Peninsula Golf Course. Um, but so like on the one hand, it's really cool to see all of these different types of cars in person. On the other side of it, there's so many things like the Ferrari that's currently on your screen right now. Cool that they made it. Does not move my needle at all.
yeah,
Um,
it's not for anybody. Like,
uh, and it's like, and there's so many vehicles like that. I know like you're a big fan of like the pre-war stuff and like that horseless, like I don't want to call it horseless carriage, but you kind of get the
no, they
idea of what I'm
are.
saying.
It's
That
brass era
style of
stuff.
like where it's got
Yes,
like the mailbox hood and
right.
then just it's like a box behind it. And I'm oversimplifying and I don't mean to throw shade or disrespect those types of cars or anything, but like I don't know, man. Like I would, and it's kind of I would geek out more at a show like PRI, where like I might get the chance to see like a race car like Snot Rocket or something like that, and then there's the whole thing of like you um just the vibe to me like it's a bunch. And again, you've had a great time, and I'm sure you did like I'm sure it's one of those things that if you go once, it's like I kind of get it now, okay, but like for me, it's just like I don't want to deal with these people who are out here spending 40, 30, $42 million on cars or
Oh,
have a car
it's
that if like I pass gas within 15 feet of it upwind, they might try to lock me away for life, right? Like,
yes.
um, I don't know, like it, it's just I guess the best and kindest way to say it is just not my scene. Like also, why is that one Ferrari under plastic wrap and then the three others that are
I know,
kind of
right?
like
It's
it's
funny.
just that
Lewis mentioned that the DDE guys ruined it for me. I was like, I included a picture of me with them in this. It didn't make the cut, but that's pretty funny.
um yeah, I mean, I don't know what to.
But so one thing that I will say, the only, and it's because of who like, so I haven't not gone to Car Week without Tyler Hoover, you know.
Mhm.
So, and obviously during the years, his popularity got more and more. And then when we went with Car Trek, like you can see Tavares is in that photo. He's closest to the Koenigsegg. Like going to those events with the three of them, like Ed, Tyler, and Tavares, was both made it more overwhelming and gave us more access to stuff. Like it made it easier in some aspects, but also made it like very difficult to move around. Um, I'd say it's an event like if you go with a veteran who's like, I know where to go, what time, and where, it's possible. I don't think I would like it very much if I just like grabbed a buddy who'd never been and I had never been and we just tried to go. I think I would have missed a lot of stuff. I think I wouldn't have known what to do. And you know, to your credit though, something that you would enjoy is like, and I didn't include enough pictures because I was just kind of grabbing them from over the years. Um, the whole vibe at Laguna Seca, which is my favorite video game track, first of all. Um, and then they're doing the vintage racing, and these guys are really going for it, and they really have the cars out there, and they have the pre-war cars, like they have a brass era track car, and these guys take these things out on the track, and it looks from like when you're spectating it, it looks so slow because they're just going like down the straights and stuff like that. But you know, you just get this sense of, oh man, that's real motoring. It's just really cool to see these cars in real life, you know, really going for it. Like, you know, Porsche 964s and no, Porsche 904s, like anything, like all of the legendary cars, like the Bugatti, whatever that blue one that I put, I always slips my name. It's like the Type 38 or Type 36, whatever it is. Seeing those actually go around the track at full chat is just like, it's crazy. You know, they had Niki Lauda's old Ferrari out there one time, just really going for it. It's just singing at Laguna Seca. You're like, these are things that you're like, you have to just be there to experience. And then you go into the parking lot of Laguna Seca, and it's like they're doing a. It was the one of the years I went was the release year of the McLaren Senna. So McLaren was doing like a for the owners of McLarens, like doing a Senna like ride and drive, and they had like 20 of them, and like they were just in a line, and like they were just taking people out on tours in Sennas, and it's like, okay, a Senna is $1 million car on its own, and you see 20 of them all together, you're like, this is nuts. And then again, you see Carrera GT parked on the in the dirt. I saw like at the I think it was a Gooding, a Lamborghini Reventon. There's only like 10 of those, and it's like it was in the mulch in the parking lot, parked in between like an Expedition and some other normal car. And I'm like, this. It's just it's stuff like that. And one of the other couple of pictures I included in there, like one of the first things I ever saw at Car Week was a P1 curb parked in front of like this restaurant that we were going to. And I'm like, well, first of all, it must be a good restaurant because somebody curb parked a P1.
Or they spend all their money on the P1, and this is what they got.
That too. But it's like the P1 was not that old. When I first, I was like, holy shit, I'd never even seen a P1, yet. And then little did I know, it's like, oh, I'm going to be seeing several P1s over the next few days. It's just like, I think one of the things that's ruined it for me, well, not ruined it for me, but it's that to give you an idea of how overwhelming the event was, is I just told when I was on the plane on my way there with the guy who had been before, Rob, I said, you know what, man, if I just see like a Jaguar XJ220, I think I'll be really happy. And I think that night we saw one. I was like, well, crap, we have like the rest of the week here. I already set my goal. I was like, Jaguar XJ220, if I see one of those, checked off. And then immediately saw one. I'm like, well, now what? Like that's what Car Week does for you. And I mean, the other thing is, and another picture I included in there is one time this is how wild this story was. We had gone like kind of shopping at this pier place, and they had a hot sauce store, and we popped in there. Like, not that I'm really looking at anything, but they had like, you could try them and stuff. And they had one that you had to sign a waiver to try. And I'm like, of course you got to try that. So I signed the waiver, tried it. It ruined like the next like 20 minutes of my life. Inescapable heat, nothing I could do about it. But we were going to dinner right afterwards. It, didn't really matter. But I was walking around and I saw a Koenigsegg, swing over and park, because I was walking to the restaurant by myself at this point, because I forgot what I'd gone to do, make a phone call or something like that. And then walking on the street was Christian von Koenigsegg. I was like, okay, this is crazy. Like, when else in the world are you going to have a chance where he's just walking down the street? I'm like, obviously I went up to him and talked to him. I was like, huge fan of your work. I love your stuff. We talked for like a few minutes, got a picture. And then I went back into the restaurant. I'm like, well, guess who I just got to meet, everybody? Christian von Koenigsegg. And they're like, what, where? And I'm like, it's too late. But that's what Car Week can do. And I guess, like I said, I was in the right place at the right time for a lot of stuff. But if I was just one of these regular car spotter guys, and you can't get into these events and you can't do some of these things, like, I don't think it would be as fun. I think it would just be crowded to see a lot of the same car, like a million Huracans and a million, like, which again, it you sound so like spoiled even saying it. You're like, I'm sick of seeing Huracans. You're like, it's a cool car. But
yeah,
like,
but
it
I also
becomes the
think
civic of Car Week.
Yeah. And I also think there is a level of our generation. Basically, if you're 14 or older, you're almost desensitized to exotics, in the sense of, like, back in the day, if you wanted to see a picture of a Lamborghini, you had to see it in a magazine or a
Right, and
friend
that's how I grew up. I grew up like that. So I still get excited about them, but like, yeah, I can't imagine being on the internet and thinking like, oh yeah, all these are pretty cool, but everyone has a Lamborghini. And you're like, no, not everybody has a Lamborghini.
And like, I think there's also an element of like why the New York press days for the New York Auto Show have gotten like a little, like, I've become so desensitized. Like, the first few years was, wow, I can't believe I'm here. And then it was, there's nothing cool here. Like, I became so jaded, and like, I'd love to get that excitement back again. But on the flip side, as I'm like, maybe I'll go this year, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. they're like, oh, all the cool stuff you have to be invited by the OEM, and
Right. And it's okay, don't get me wrong, it's like that here too. One of the things that they do, I mean, one day, but every manufacturer has a mansion on the coast
of course
that
they
they
do.
rent out. And like, you go to the Lamborghini party, you can go to the Rolls Royce party, you can go to the Ferrari party, you can go to the Aston Martin party. And some of them, when you're at Pebble Beach, you can see like their backyards and stuff. Like, so I saw like the Aston Martin like ice sculpture that was freaking huge, and like they had a Valkyrie, like in on the balcony and stuff like that. I was like, it's so nuts, but it's an invite only thing. Um, and it's not even like you own an Aston Martin, you can come. It's like you got to be a really good customer to get to go to the manufacturer mansion parties. But I do want to answer a few things. So let's see here. So Matthew, I've not seen a 911 GT1. That is one that I would love to see, but I just have not seen one of those yet. And Lewis said you met Dr. Evil, which I'm assuming is Christian von Koenigsegg. And yes, I did.
I don't have the picture of Elliott with Christian von Koenigsegg, but I have a picture of me with Christian von Koenigsegg. So
There you go.
one of my life
I
highlights
sent it
for
to you.
sure.
It's in your messenger.
Oh, well, all right. Is it?
Yes, it's in the pile. I was like, I sent you this picture. I sent you this picture.
Really? I thought that felt like less than
I figured
30.
that would pop up more than me and the guy from Everybody Loves Raymond.
No, I made sure that one's in there like 4 times.
No, I know, but I love that one because like we were at the auction and we were at like it was RM. So that's the one where everybody's the auctioneer is British, and he calls everybody poor for not having $10 million, and whatever. And I'm just having a beer with my buddy Colin, and I like turn around and I'm like, hey, that's the guy from Everybody Loves Raymond, like right behind us. And he turns around, he's like, oh yeah, it is. I'm like, dude. And we started just talking to him. He was like the nicest guy in the world.
What is it? Huh. Hold on.
His messenger is a little overfull. Yeah, I know. I'm sure you do have a bunch of folks in there.
It's jumping. All right. All right. All right. Oh, this is definitely getting added to the stock file.
Is it me and Tyler? It's pretty good.
Might be.
Yeah. I have the cropped version of that of just him is his picture when he calls me. It's my favorite picture. He looks like such a douche.
Preview.
Yeah. Well, it's because like it's funny because we were literally staying at the same house and everything, and I realize now, and I try not to do it in front of him anymore, is how it kind of embarrassing it is to wear Hoovie's Garage t-shirts in front of him. So that I'm just like, I'm your biggest fan. But we were wearing it, and then he's like, oh man, we didn't realize until we got there and see, like, there's another golf course fairway just getting ruined by cars. I mean, look, Michelin alone back there is creating such a dead spot.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go out. Here's the thing though, and it's funny you mentioned that, and like I mention it somewhat in jest because when like these car shows come in, a lot of times events like this, especially if you're in, depending on what climate you're in, we're gonna go down a golf course nerdery hole. Chat, buckle up. But a lot of times when they like host these events, they plan their yearly maintenance around big events like this. Like Pebble Beach, like they will do all of their aeration, pulling the plugs out of the ground. And again, you're paying $450 to sometimes $800 to play around at Pebble Beach if you can get it through the lottery, right? Like,
yeah, wow.
But that they'll plan all these maintenance cycles around that, and like the groundskeepers are scientists. Like they have a degree in agronomy, which is basically grass. So
oh man,
while this beats it up, it's like, what beats the living hell out of golf courses? Professional golf tournaments. Because again, you have stands, you have spectators walking across the fairway, killing it, right? And then somehow next year everything's good. So like I joke, and like, yeah, there's probably going to be a dead patch underneath that, but like what you don't see at a lot of these extremely upper echelon golf courses is they have probably acres of nursery insert type of grass here. Nursery tee boxes, nursery fairways, nursery greens,
Mm,
nursery. I mean, the rough not so much, but because rough is generally the easiest grass to grow on a golf course.
right.
Um, um,
But it's like that 246 Dino, like right behind me, is 100% leaking oil onto the grass.
yeah, and that's. But
Like
here's the
I
thing.
would bet so much money that it's got a little
I mean,
pile
not
under
for
it.
nothing. There are BMWs for as far as the eye can see. There's a lot of oil being leaked.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, this was a BMW heavy event. Yeah, because it's a Michelin was sponsoring it with entirely BMWs and like a little road. So yeah, there's oil all over this place.
But yeah, let me just see if I can. Oh shoot, that's right. I have to. Hold on. Live. Let's see here. Can
It's so
I?
funny. Like I said, I've met him. I still can't remember his name. It's just guy from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, something like, and it's one of those people you can like hear the voice too.
Yes, he's got an iconic voice for sure.
Let me just see if I can. Oh, this might have been a terrible idea. Yeah.
Lewis is make a good point. That's if the Dino actually drives may have been pushed there. And Joseph, I also blame Greg. Whatever it's for,
Oh,
I
that's
blame him.
the impromptu,
Yeah.
unofficial slogan of the show.
No, I know, but
And our
I'm
second
agreeing with you.
Bucky's shout out
Yeah.
from Brett, who has never played golf with me. So how would you know if I'm Sir Chunk a lot? And not for nothing, at my peak, my yeah, I'm
Oh,
not
good.
gonna. Brett's a friend of
Thank you.
mine. I bust his chops.
Yeah.
But hey, if you're nerdy about tech stuff, I have it on good authority that Brett, aka Tech Brett, will have some interesting stuff coming soon. He's getting back into content. So if you're into the techie sort of artsy stuff, go subscribe or just go comment on his stuff that his golf game is terrible. Either or
Yeah.
will work for me. Um,
There you
oh
go.
shoot.
The F1 again, street parked. And then when we saw it on the street, we saw it on the highway and we like chased it down essentially. Because I mean, it's funny now in my life, I've seen like 4 F1s, but I've only heard that one. Like it's not something. It's another car that you just like. You're like, if you're lucky, you see one. It's just not one of the cars you ever see in motion. And to see one on the highway was like, whoa. And there's a oh, Brad Garrett, that's his name. Thank you, Lewis. That is his name.
That's one
And
of
there you go,
those.
Lewis.
That's one of those
There's me with
ones
the
where it's
DDE
like,
guys, which a funny story about the DDE photo. So that was my first time meeting them, but like obviously I got the little bit of an easier in because it was like I was with Tyler, so I didn't have to just go like, "Hey guys, I know who you are," like everybody else there. Um, and so whatever. But at the end of our interaction, I was like, "Hey, can I have a photo together?" And Tyler went in to be in the photo with us, and I was like, "No, no." And I handed him the phone. I was like, "I need you to take the photo." And yeah, it really let the steam out of him a little bit. It was pretty funny.
yeah. I mean, DD is one of those channels where like I'll watch and then I won't, and then I'll watch
Yes, no,
and
like
then I won't.
I kind of almost like exclusively like watch their shorts if they come across like my Facebook now. I don't really because I know it's 26 minutes of not exactly what they're saying is happening in the thumbnail. So I'm like, eh.
Alicia goes, golf is terrible regardless who plays. Respectfully, I disagree. That was my career for 15 years.
I'm a big fan. Well, I guess you can't really do it. I was like, I'm a pretty big fan of any sport you can drink during. So,
Yeah, I mean,
I guess that pretty much makes pool, bowling, and golf, and disc golf, I guess. What
technically
else? Oh,
speaking, you could drink during any sport, whether or not
that's true.
they'll continue allowing you to play said sport.
Also, I think there'd be a detriment to your performance in some things like basketball and or football.
True, but the funniest thing is like with the guys I golfed with was like one of the guys I played with a bunch. Uh, there was the quote unquote science experiment of trying to figure out what his the chemistry experiment of how many beers is enough for him to stop thinking
Oh
and
my
just be
God.
play loose, and then the maintaining that but not exceeding it to the you've had too many. Um, but no, I mean, I think I've told this story before, but I fell into golf because I was a degenerate baseball player growing up. I played all sports really growing up. I played baseball in college. Was how do I put this without? I wasn't like some massive prospect, right? Like I wasn't like a number one draft pick, but there were a lot of conversations of me playing after college at a competitive level. Long story short, hurt my shoulder. And one thing about me, you probably have picked up on, although you not so much as like maybe a Greg, but like I'm hyper competitive.
Mm.
Uh, so like
I can see it though.
not having a thing to compete in was driving me nuts. So I was like getting competitive in like random stuff, like uh getting the shopping cart first or like randomly stupid stuff or like so I was like I had played golf in college. I was like, oh, I could get pretty decent at this. And the thing about golf is you don't need anyone to compete. The golf course tells you what you should shoot.
Right. You compete against yourself.
How close do you get to that was like the drive for me. And then again, me being me and then working in the industry, which absolutely 100% helps. At one point I was a 1.3 handicap going into 2020. We were talking about potentially, I'm not saying I would have qualified or even made it out of regional qualifying. I forget the first stage of qualifying for the US Open, but I was going to go test myself. Like, how good am I compared to like actual good golfers, not even pros? And then, of course, we had COVID, the end in that. I ended up hurting my shoulder, yada, yada, yada. At any rate,
Man.
um, anywho, let's see here. Actually, turns out when you drink a Red Bull and a 20-ounce bottle of water, it goes through you like a lightning bolt. So,
Yeah. Give me
uh,
some. Give me something before you leave, though.
give you something, but given context, that's an odd thing to say.
Or
But
no, I can just talk. I can talk to the commenters. It's all good.
yeah, I mean, discuss things with chat.
Yeah, Chad. If you have any questions, I can expand on while Chad uses the Wisitorium.
Here's one. Actually, you know what? I want to save this for. I want to save this for when I
Nice.
come back because I want to
Yeah,
talk
save
about
it.
uh some of the sales. But if all right, what would as you talk chat or what have you? But if you need some fodder for the conversational fires, what would the ultimate Elliott Alvis car show look like? And you can't just say all Corvettes.
All Corvettes. That's a good question. Okay, I think I can expand on that. Although I don't know how much your audience knows about me, but I guess we'll figure it out.
Yes. Well, they'll learn
Yeah,
something either way.
they will learn something. I mean, I'm going to say first and foremost, obviously it's going to be pretty Corvette heavy. Is what I would describe that as. If you guys know me, or if you don't know me, I'm kind of a Corvette guy, but I've been called a Corvette expert for different reasons. But I just love them, grew up with them, and I know pretty much everything about every year. And I guess I'm a little autistic when it comes to specifically Corvettes, but that doesn't mean that I don't know and love pretty much the entire gamut of the car spectrum. So, which is hence why I loved going to Car Week, because I'm looking around at all these other cars that I know that I love. I mean, one of my other favorite cars in the world is a Ferrari 430. So it's like, I'm not just Corvettes. I think, yeah, my ideal car show would be a good, healthy mixture of really iconic pre-war stuff. So anything pre-42. And then a lot of Corvettes, a lot of significant Corvettes. But I also, like I said, really love Ferraris, exotics in general. I love a lot of Lamborghinis. Not as big of a fan of the newest stuff. My enthusiasm kind of stops at the Aventador. Um, let's see here. Oh, Matthew said he just did a Z06 museum delivery with his friend. That is a cool experience. I've been to the factory a couple of times, and it is really cool. Well, not the last time I went, but one of the times I went, my friend's dad was doing a C6 ZR1 museum delivery, and that was awesome. They really pulled out the stops for us on that one for ZR1. They let us see like the two new colors that they were. It was like that. It was the two new colors that they released on the. Losing my mind here. The Corvette, the Z06 Carbon, that blue and that orange that you could get the Z06 Carbon in. They literally pulled the curtain for us and let us see those two cars before they had even announced them. I was like, holy crap! I mean, the Corvette guy in me was just flipping out. But yeah, they do a really great job there, and I cannot wait to do my own museum delivery one day, because I just want to get it, drive it back. My dad did one of the very first ones in the 90s. So yeah, big fan of that. Let's see here. Alicia said there used to be a vet museum near me, but it was destroyed by a fire and a tornado. Two separate events. My goodness, God hated that that museum. I don't know, was it on an Indian burial ground or something? That is crazy. That's a real shame. But that's really cool. I didn't know that there was another Corvette only museum anywhere. I thought it was just the national one. That's really cool. It's not cool that a fire and a tornado destroyed it, but that is neat that it existed. Let's see here. So all the non-vet on a vet chassis would be dope. Yeah, I do like when they swap over pretty much anything onto a vet chassis is really cool. I mean, I particularly love, like, I've seen like even like a 33 Ford on like somehow a C6 chassis. You're like, wow. Okay, Chris is back. Chad's taking a bit of a little restroom break, so it's just solo Elliott time here. So I'm kind of relying on you guys, especially because it's just the same pictures rolling across the screen a bunch. I only sent Chad like 16 pictures. And now it's like, it's weird. It's not all of them are showing up. It's now that I've included these other ones. And still my Christian von Koenigsegg picture never came up. That's pretty crazy. Anyway. But yeah, seeing like that picture, seeing like 3 Porsche 917s in person is just nuts. Again, the beauty of Car Week. What else is going on, guys? Do you guys have any things that you would love to see at your dream car museum? Let's see here. Alicia said, I think the owner was into some sketchy things. I don't remember if the fire was arson or not. You know what? Yeah, we've got a business family, you could say, around here that suspiciously they all own pretty diverse businesses, and somehow one or more of them ends up on fire at least once a year, and everyone knows it's the regular fire routine with those guys. It's and yet nothing gets done about it. Yeah, if he was into some sketchy stuff, the fire might not have been legit, but I really can't say that even if you're into the sketchiest of things, that a tornado, that you could help a tornado. I mean, that is literally an act of God, I guess. You know, like, well, you can't really do anything about it. It just there's a tornado. Trust me, I live in Kansas. We are living in constant fear of them, and they're all around all the time. Ooh, a 36.5 window on a vet chassis. That's cool. See, those are combining a couple of my favorite things. I took a 36 Ford Roadster to prom, like my senior year. So very familiar with that. And if you made that 36 Ford on a vet chassis, I mean, call me sold. Chad's back.
Muted.
Yep, but
What
you're
up?
muted. Oh, there you go.
Oh.
I did my best, and the commenters are very helpful.
They usually are. Yeah, no, I don't even remember the context.
We were talking about my dream car thing. I was like, Corvettes, premium pre-war stuff, choice Ferraris. I was like, and Lamborghinis up into the Aventador. And I was like, and then anything after that, I don't really care about as much.
Fair enough. Um, no, what was I going to say? Oh, I just had the thought. Remember I think it was last time you were on, where you were talking about sticking a Lambo V10 in a Corvette.
Yes.
So there's a
Because you
company.
asked what the perfect engine swap would be, and I'm like, oh, that's a good question.
What is it? LS. So there's this guy. It's the LSXR10 group on Facebook, and he made a V10 based on LS architecture.
Oh, now that's interesting.
Excuse me. And I was like, huh. If I ever become independently wealthy, we're gonna put one of these in a vet for Elliott. So
Yeah. There we go.
okay. And anyway,
so anyway, your take though is that Monterey Car Week is
it's just too. I don't. Overrated is a bit too. We'll just use the word YouTubey, or clickbaity, or what have you. More legit. It's just as I'm more into like I posted a video about the Blue Sky MG that they completely redid the chassis on, put a
right. And you'd sent me that article. It was crazy.
small block Ford power. Like I'm more into like that stuff. I'm like, because A, the whole purpose of that car is to be a driver, and B, like even the Riddler stuff does nothing for me. Like those cars, the craftsmanship is insane, and I appreciate that. But it's like that thing will put 40 miles on itself, maybe the whole entirety of its life. And like to me, that's where like these things, like that whole notion of like the concourse, right? It's like this is great. They have to run, they have to drive, they have to move under their own power as per the rules to be a part of any sort of award. But they're basically art pieces, right? Like
Yes.
when you go to that level of restoration and effort and everything like that, and knowing that something as simple as like a bolt that holds some obscure magneto in place is a complete, like you literally have to machine it from scratch to get it to work. I get the idea of not wanting to put wear and tear on it, but I am very much in the camp of if you don't drive, if you walk out into your garage on a sunny day and it's not an option to drive, it doesn't move me. And I'm not saying that's the right way to think or anything like that. It's just the way my brain works.
Well, first of all, Vic is in the chat, so hey, Vic. But I think you're right because there is a literally it stops becoming fun and becomes a liability to have it out of your collection. And I honestly, that's becoming pretty much anything over $400,000. I want to say is like you, which is I know that's a huge amount. So don't get me wrong. But it's like I'm trying to think of the cars that I have driven on the street and like the difference that I feel. It's like a $200,000 car. You're like, I know this is a lot of car. I know this is expensive. I know that there's a lot of stuff going on here. But it's like in my lifetime that could be replaced. There's a certain level where you're like, okay, nobody, like we've talked about before, nobody is even insured to be around this car. Essentially, there's becomes a level of thing. Like, I mean, I think that there was around a $15 million Ferrari that even for this dealership to keep it overnight, they had to have a certain number of security cameras on it per the insurance. Like, this car is no longer fun to own, drive, be around. It's like it's just a stress. Like it literally is like that there is a certain threshold. But the thing is, that's also kind of what's neat about Car Week is then you see those kind of cars driving around, risking it. Like these guys, there's for everybody that's at Car Week risking it, there's 15 guys keeping those things at home. And, I can respect that in the same degree that I respect the event that I'm about to go to, the ACD Fest. It's because, I mean, you have to be an old car guy, but if you know the value of Duesenbergs, there isn't one that isn't $1 million. The crappiest Duesenberg in the world is still $1 million. And then they go up from there. And so to see those driving around on the street, and more than one of them, you're like, holy crap, this is just crazy. Um, it's just something. There's just something different about it. And but yes, I agree that from your perspective, where you're like, how is this interesting to me? You're like, I'm never gonna want a car that's $1 million because I can't use it, I can't drive it, and if anything happens to it, what do you freaking do? Um, it does lose interest, like from an enthusiast, a true enthusiast perspective, other than loving the art of the game. Um, I definitely see it. It's like, which car am I going to rather want to drive? Is like, like a C6 Z06 or an undrivable brass car that can only actually go 15 miles an hour, but is historically significant. It's I see it. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, like and like I don't know, and like I understand like people like you go and quote unquote, I don't even know, like I don't want to say commoners, but like I know normal people go to these things and what have you, but like the average person who's going to sit here and be like, "Oh, you don't know what that obscure Bentley thing over there is," or like,
Oh, well, Pebble Beach is a whole different thing. Like when you go to Pebble Beach, I'm not kidding. There were cars there that I'm like, I have no idea what that is. And I'm a pre-war enthusiast. And you're like, yeah, it's because this was one of one commissioned by Sir Patrick McGallifart back in 1934. And you're like, well, yeah, how the heck am I supposed to know what that is? Like,
yeah.
that's not one that was ever in the books.
And I think there's also like Vic mentioned, like you should go just for the heck of it. And like if I ever get the opportunity to go, I wouldn't say no to it because I think it would
Yeah.
also be an I hate to put it this way, but it'd be an interesting opportunity for content. Like,
It would be. You could people watch there and just be like, you could watch, I think it'd be funny, and I'm sure there are reels like this, but like watch the kids who are just holding out their phones for like a Huracan with a wing on it, and then like you name it, like a Lamborghini Miura drives by, because they don't know what it is. They're just like completely, dismiss it.
yeah,
Um, and it'd be very funny or not funny, but fun to watch that kind of take place. Because it is the kind of event where it's just like you're just, I forget wherever else, it's a wallet thickness contest, and they're absolutely right. I mean, it is. But there's certain cars there that get attention that, like, no matter what. So like one of the years I went was when the I know, believe it or not, when the Dodge Ram TRX first came out, and I was with the camera crew, and we had a TRX. I mean, it was like we were like within a month or two of it coming out, and he had a modded, like, so it was already, he already had like stuff on it, modded TRX. And I remember driving it down Ocean Avenue, and people were taking pictures of the TRX over the exotics. So it's just like there's a little bit of a what's the newest thing, because it was the same story when the Bronco came out. I was there that year. Somebody had like an early release Bronco, and that might as well have been, a $4 million Ferrari to people. Like, people would take pictures of that over an SP3 Daytona. It was, I mean, I guess they weren't out at the same time, but you know what I mean. It's just a matter of things. Like when the Brabus 6x6 G Wagon came out, there were a few of those there, and people were just like, oh, even Stradman would drive his 6x6 Gladiator there, and that would get a ton of attention.
yeah. I mean, like that. Like I said, I would absolutely love to go for the experience because I feel like if you go with the right crew, you can make anything kind of fun. It's just like like I said, like certain stuff just doesn't move my needle. Like, and
And I
that's
get it, but
again what
there's stuff
makes
there
that.
that
That's again what
there's stuff there
makes
that would move your needle, is what I'm saying. I
right.
think.
And like that's the thing. Like if like we were to go or something, but like on the flip side to that, like I get a crystal like this. I get jazzed up about at the thought of like, hey, let's get Elliott to Carlisle next year and just see that
Yes.
because it's like there's I don't know.
But you know
Like
me, I would have fun no matter what. Like, I love cars, so like, I don't need the high end crazy stuff. I like it, but like I get just as excited about Volvos and different other stuff, like quirky stuff. So
Yeah. No, it's
oh my,
one of those like I also had an idea for like content where it's like, how do we sit here and merge since we were talking about golf, if you've seen those videos of like the back off challenge,
yes,
like how do we do something like that with like exotics and stuff that like drive like owners like of those cars to drive? I'd be like, I want to sit here and bust on like make jokes and stuff like, um, it's like I said, it'd be an interesting experience. I would absolutely love and nerd out at the Laguna Seca stuff because, as we've well
the
established,
Laguna Seca stuff. You might as I don't even know if I could get you to go to any other event because like every day at Laguna Seca is different, and just walking through the pits is nuts. And hearing the sounds and all that stuff, it's just been, yeah.
And I mean, like that's the stuff that like that's the other part of it. It's like, Chad, we have to go do something else. But the 1990 to 99 cars are on track today. Sorry,
Yeah.
can't go.
You're like, those are my favorite.
And like,
I bet you said the Trans Am cars were your favorite.
they're all my favorite.
Yeah.
Pick a favorite child. You can't.
That's another thing that I do get that I get my chops busted by my co-host because she's not a car person, and it's very funny to work in an on-air setting with a non-car person doing car stuff, because like she calls it out that stuff I don't think about, and one of the things that I know I say it every time because I'm such a Ferrari guy is I'm pretty sure almost every time either I'm in one or we talk about it, I say, all right, Kayla, this is one of my favorite Ferraris and blah, blah. And she's just like, yeah, you say that every time. And I'm like, oh, well, it's because this one is one of my favorites. And she's like, well, they can't all be your favorite. I'm like, yeah, they can. I think.
I mean, they absolutely can. I mean, let's.
Yeah, I was like.
With case in point, would you spend $40 million on a Ferrari Luce?
On a Luce? No.
I understand it's for charity, but it's for Ferrari's charity.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have some umbrance with that, is that the charity cars don't really count, and they love to parade that around as like a thing. It's like they could have been auctioning off again that leaky 246 Dino from the other picture that we had up there. Could have gone for the same amount of money, would have made the same story. But it's those charity cars, I know it's the big money, but it doesn't count. It's a tax write-off, and if you're a billionaire, having a $40 million write-off is probably pretty attractive.
Yeah, and there was some stuff surrounding it like that. I don't know how much of it is substantiated other than just people trying to figure out a reason to shit on someone who just spent $40 million on a car. But like, I don't know, man. Like, personally, I'd give the money to charity and then just like.
But this is the way of getting the money to charity and getting a car out of it. Like
I'm saying I'd rather just give the money to charity and let the loot.
Yeah.
Like, you keep the Luce. Like, that's where I'm at with that thing.
Yeah. No, I know the Luce is an abomination. It's a bean. I will not call it one of my favorite Ferraris. Yeah. Anyway, also Vic Chang did say, he's like, I heard it's a workout even walking around Laguna Seca, and it is because of the massive elevation change no matter where you go. Like from the parking lot to the corkscrew is a legit hike. I mean, to say it's uphill is putting it lightly. It's crazy, but entirely worth it.
That's why, like, that always reminds me of like the lore around the cork. Like, the corkscrew wasn't supposed to be a corkscrew; it was supposed to be something else. And because of the hill and elevation change there, the construction crew's like, "We're going as the crow flies," so they just hook the left, and they're like, and like, boom, corkscrew created.
But it's one of the most legendary turns in motorsports.
Yeah, like I love those are like the coolest stories to me. Like, same thing with like the Island Green at TPC Sawgrass. Like, legitimately wasn't supposed to be a thing. They had to dig out a low point because they built a freaking golf course in a swamp. Like, they needed someplace for the water to drain, so they're just digging out this quote unquote lake, and they just happen to notice, like, that'd be kind of cool if it was a par 3. And now it's arguably the most iconic par 3 on the planet.
This has been a golf heavy.
I mean, I could go on about cars.
I know. It's
Like,
relevant though.
you know, like, and not for nothing, like 15 years in an industry, you'll pick up a thing or two. Hi, Harley.
Oh,
How
for
you
sure.
doing? That's my niece. If you weren't watching the show where she guest appeared, let's see here. But like, yeah, but and like, the funniest thing is for like, if we're talking about not an auction car, that GTR that sold for 32 million, 34. Oh, sorry, 34 and 2/3 million.
The McLaren.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
owned by Nick Mason. Like, now let me
it's
ask
really
you a question.
cool.
This
But
brings up another question. Do you
yeah,
pay attention to other auctions when you're not at your auction?
yeah, I do because it's good to stay current in the market because the auction industry is completely different than the private sale industry, obviously, or even the peer-to-peer or dealer market. Like, so like what a car is worth at a dealer, like even that GTO that I did the video on, like it's got a list price that is totally different, or might be spot on to what if you were to send that across the auction at no reserve. There's a different. It keeps me aware, and I'm trying to think of how to put it. It makes you different auctions have different audiences, and obviously different dollar, coming to the table. But yes, I pay attention to different auctions because yeah, it just keeps you fresh, and it also kind of lets me know what to expect from our upcoming auction. It's like, all right, what did our closest competitors do? And you know what? Even the owners of my auction company, like when I go to other auctions, I see them there. They go, like they don't just like watch. And same thing with other auctions for us. It's a very interesting industry in the fact that everyone is constantly keeping an eye on each other because there's such public sales. They're public sales, but you want to see how every one of them does something differently. Like Barrett Jackson is a completely different operation than our auction, and I've been on the inside, both of them. So it's like it's an interesting thing to keep an eye on. And like I said, I think it's just also interesting when you look at one car and three different ways to sell it. It's that car has this kind of approximate value, which is what like an appraiser would put it at, and then it has the private sale value. It has the like I said, like a person-to-person sale value. It has if I were to consign this at a dealership value, and it has the auction estimate. And all of them are, you believe it or not, like there's some pretty big discrepancies, especially depending on the car. Like there's cars that sometimes have the estimate on them can be $100,000 in between. Like whatever they're like this could go for this much or this much. We don't know. Like it's a very interesting thing that you kind of have to stay on top of because it's ever changing. Just like actually it's even reflected in the auction results from Monterey Car Week. I mean, if you look at it, Enzos were worth $3 million not that long ago, and now they're 9, 12, $14 million. If you don't watch the auctions, you'd be like, hey, an Enzo's worth about 3 million. You just don't know. It's the same thing with Ford Fairlanes or whatever else you want to put on it. Stuff changes value, and you got to keep an eye on the other auctions to really stay current, I guess. If that makes any sense.
No, I mean it's part of the gig, right? Like if you're going to talk about something and like your knowledge base is only on what you guys sell, like a lot changes in
You're
a
not
month.
gonna be that good at it.
I forget who was it in here because I thought it was funny. Matthew asks, "What auction company do you own, Elliott?"
Oh, I do not own any of them. I work for and represent Cruise Auctions. That's KRUSE, formerly Worldwide Auctioneers. And then I've done work for Barrett Jackson, and I'm just kind of in the ether.
Yeah, he's the
I used to get confused about owning the company I worked for in high school too. I'm like, I'm 18. I do not own this place.
Let me just check. Yep, that's not my name on the sign.
Well, I was the guy. I was the guy in the commercial, so they'd be like, "So you must own it." And I'm like, "No, I'm just the guy in the commercial."
Yeah. I still have that. I literally saved that on my computer. I saved that on my external hard drive. I have it
Good.
saved on my Google Drive, and I currently have it as an open tab still.
So it'll
on
never
my
go
phone.
away. That's good. I was gonna say it's Tyler Hoover's favorite thing to show people when they don't know, because I'll forget. Sometimes I forget. It's been so long, and then he'll just walk up and be like, "Have you ever seen his commercial?" And I'll be like, "Oh God, don't." And I'm like, and I was like, and I also have to remind him. I was like, it wasn't one, it was 5. There's 5 commercials. But at a time, I was a local commercial celebrity. It was a weird time, but it was a time.
Hey,
This is when TV was a thing, kids. It's when you'd watch TV and you'd remember the people from the commercials. It was a time.
back before
cruiseauctions.com.
back before you could
Tune out and
skip the
watch
commercials.
Back
Oh
before
my
you could
gosh,
skip the
I
commercials,
just came up
or
with
before you could look at your phone during the commercials. Like you were just watching. You're like, okay, well,
I just came up with an idea for when because you remember it's been over a year since we filmed footage with my Mustang. Like
yes,
there's
I know.
actual
I
footage.
was like, will it ever see the light of day? I don't know.
It absolutely will. And then in the middle of that, I'm going to put the Ribbit Computers commercial in it, but I'm also going to Photoshop in like all of the like the ads you would like the skip button after 5 seconds from YouTube. That might infuriate and enrage people who aren't in on the inside joke.
No,
But like uh but
no, I love it.
um
Let's see here. What did Vic James say? 2 consignment cars, a Chiron Super Sport, and a neon green 911 Turbo S hybrid. Those are not bad consignment cars there, Vic. And I love, Vic knows, because he's in the Scottsdale area. Love visiting Penske every time I'm there. I find a way to go there. It's like the Ferrari store, essentially. But they also have a Lamborghini dealership and a Rolls Royce and a Bentley. And I don't think they have a McLaren. But either way, they've got most of the main brands like right there in one dealership. And it's awesome.
How do I do this with that?
But yes, Matt, to correct the cruiseauctions.com link that you sent is also, that's the one. So keep an eye out. I'm sure Chad will share it when it comes time, but I'm going to be doing a lot of driving videos and, little short things coming up in the next week.
Let's see here. Random, who's one of our regulars over on YouTube. Literally, his name is some random internet dude.
Some random internet dude, yeah.
Have you seen the new Ferrari that's dropping soon? Not the 12 Cylindri. A new one that's like really yesterday or the day before. Personally, I think Ferrari's fully lost touch with it. See, this is what I mean by the chat moving while I'm trying to read stuff.
Okay, it says the CZ26, and I don't know if I'm familiar with it. I think you should look it up and throw it on the screen. And in the meantime, Matthew, my YouTube channel is my name. It's just Elliott Alvis. It's Elvis with an A.
Is that it?
This must be the new Ferrari. Oh, this is the Ferrari that you sent the other day. Okay, yeah. I do like that. I like the rocking horse. That's funny. Let me guess. It looks like the Testarossa and the F80 and everything else.
All right.
Oh, it's a one-off. Yeah, I did see this because it was a Car Week thing. They did this with the 458 Roadster and the other ones. I don't tend to judge. This is my opinion. He asked your opinion. I don't judge the one-offs too much because it's whatever, and it's like they worked with somebody, and this is a car that will. This is the only time it will see the light of day. Like this is going in somebody's collection, and then it will come out 15 to 20 years, and it will sell for a lot because it's a one-off, but not because it's anything good looking. You know.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this. Greg and I have for quite a bit. I don't think there's been a good-looking Ferrari since the 488, and I don't think there's been a truly beautiful Ferrari since the 458.
Yes, I'd say my needle moves a little further. I like the F8 still, but that's like that's an evolution of the 488. So it's whatever. And the F8 never got any attention. But I think you're right, especially because it's not even a hot take. It's not even a cold take. It's just once they separated from Pininfarina, like their internal design language is just like not. It doesn't move my needle. Let's just say that.
Hi, using my well,
yeah,
not that that's
using
my
your
phraseology, but
I will say this. I like the SF90. Like if I were to buy a new Ferrari, I mean, I guess they don't make the SF90 anymore, but the SF90 Spider is like the only new Ferrari that I'd be like, okay, it's pretty cool. But I think I like the numbers in the numbers on paper. But now that we have the ZR1X, I don't even need to care about that car anymore.
Because you basically have a 458 engine that GM hit enhance on with two turbos.
Yes, exactly. So it's like the SF90 checked all my boxes until the ZR1X came out, and I'm like, okay, there we go. Those are all the things I want in a car.
I did want to touch on something. Who was it? Matt Fiorano was asking about the YouTube channel. You mentioned it. If you click on the description, both on Facebook and YouTube, I linked all of Elliott's socials. Facebook page, the YouTube, Instagram, all that fun stuff. So definitely go give him a follow. Give him a subscribe.
Yes, and like I said, new video today. So
yeah,
check that out. Not doing too well because it's an old car, and the old saying that YouTube people don't care about anything before 1980 is true. Doesn't matter how good the video is.
Yeah, right.
So when I inevitably do a video on a Duesenberg, it's gonna be for me, and I'm just gonna have to know. I'm gonna be like, guys, I know no one's watching. I'm shouting into the void right now, but this is for me. I want to record me doing this.
This needs to be recorded for the pages of history.
Yes. Like my daughters need to know that this happened, and then they'll also be like, "Yeah, Dad drove an old car once. Who cares?" They're like, "You don't understand."
Oh my gosh. What was I thinking of doing?
Well, thank you, Matthew. And yeah, register at Cruise if you're in the area. Pop on down. Like I said, I can get you in for free, and if you're registered, then you're going to get in, I think, for free anyway. But the facility is nuts. One thing I guess I never really talk about it, but like one of the things that separates Cruise from the other auctions that I've been around and whatever is all the other auctions are temporary. They pop up, they do the sale, and they disassemble and they go. Our auction, we have a huge, like 200,000 square foot facility. Like when you're driving on the highway, it takes a little bit to pass the building. Like that's when it's like one of those size of buildings. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, like when you're driving and you're like looking around the side of it, and you're like, wow, we're still next to that same building and we're going like 75. This is pretty crazy. It's one of those, and we have the ability to house every single car within the facility. So you can send your car there early, which is what makes my job easier because I can do videos with the cars there. And then we're also, like I said, one of the only auctions that will let you, if you're a very serious bidder, they will let you test drive or go on a test drive with the car, depending on the car. Because I've taken, believe it or not, even though I'm just talent, I've had to take clients on test drives with cars they wouldn't be allowed to drive, but that I was, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, here it is. And they're like, how is it? How is it driving? I'm like, it's good. It was like it's a 1938 Rolls Royce. It's, drives like an old car, but here we are. Anyway, it's really cool. And I thank you for subscribing, Matt.
Let's see here. Joe asks, is the numbers matching KB1 slant six duster value enough to worry about? I found on a 1974 for sale. For sale
Um,
for 50.
well, I mean, you kind of answered your own question there on its value. If it's for sale for 5,500, that's pretty much what it's worth. But if you're into those and they're cool, like they could have their day. You don't know, because there's people like my dad and my uncle who grew up driving stuff like that. So, but honestly, it's a cool way. It's a good way to get into the collector car, market, is getting a car like that. Because it's not breaking the bank necessarily. I mean, obviously depending on budget, but it's still like a way to have something cool, unique, old, still easy enough to work on. Parts availability is still there. Um, I don't think you can go wrong. Anyway, let me run to El Baño real quick. All of these, this bottomless red Solo cup has also caught up to me.
Godspeed, my friend.
I'll be right back.
Let's see here. Oh, that's what I was doing. Copy at new link. You know what? I shouldn't be messing with stuff on the back end right now. Key frame rate too low. Just out of curiosity, is the quality decent, guys? I'm getting notifications on both Facebook and the YouTube that all right, real quick. Let's see here. Joe asks where the I would sit here and say like there's always like an ass for every seat, but for things like the Duster, my gut would say rest no mod it. That's where it's going to have peak value. Let's see here. Random goes, what if I'm willing to pay $3.5 million for a beat up MX-5 Miata with the engine ripped out? That's you. Let me put it to you this way: everything is worth exactly what someone is willing to pay for it. So
yes,
I'm sure there'd be a bunch of NA Miata guys out there pissed off that you just jacked the Miata market again. But oh, Chris goes, what did you think of the Dart when I sent it to you last week? You sent it via Messenger, right?
Oh, dude, I bet your messenger is just a mess.
It's not
A
well.
mess.
The biggest thing is that so whenever someone comments or puts an emoji on like a story, it comes through Messenger. So like people are sitting here and like there'll be some really angry people about a story and I won't see it for a day or two and it just says message removed because the story disappears after 24 hours and now I have absolutely no idea what they're referring to and it's just this angry elf telling us oh, I hate those things, they're so this that or blah 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 this that and they're like I have no context. Some of them add context in the comments. Let's see here. I thought I saved it. Messenger. Let's see here. And also Messenger on desktop for Facebook is yes, it's good that it's combined Instagram and Facebook, but it's also like I have no idea. Actually did I nope, that's not it. There's Chris's. Is this your Dart, Chris? But it's I mean, it looks pretty cool. I always thought that the new modern darts were kind of cool, and I'm like,
yeah,
they look.
I kind of want one for daily. I wouldn't mind.
Let me see if there's a good picture of it that I can just.
Because with the Uconnect infotainment, it's like not that bad. Stick, like they make the right noises. It's the same, like Fiat 500 Abarth engine, and that's a really fun car.
Like, and like, not for nothing, it looks a shit ton better than a Caliber.
Mm-hmm.
It's.
Especially in the I don't know if it's the rally form. Oh, see, look, that's pretty cool.
Could you say this time? Could you say it like you're not a father looking at macaroni art like that?
I know. Well, it's a little much.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
really cool.
oh, you did a good job.
Um,
No, the writing of Dodge with the little fender hashes on the tires is a little much.
yeah,
And then the interior looks like it's a lot. If you go to that next picture, it looked like they had gone like with some seat covers, to say the least.
Oh, is that Carlisle? Okay. And Luis likes the. I like tire lettering. I just would have liked it more if it was like. This is where my whatever you want to
I
call
don't
it.
mind tire lettering. My Maserati has tire lettering, but it says Michelin. Like it
Right,
follows,
the tire manufacturer. That's the thing for me.
It follows what the tire is, which is what tire lettering should do. It should say Hoosier. It should say BF Goodrich. It should say whatever the tire is. Saying the manufacturer of the car is not what I like.
But I mean, hear me out. I like orange is my favorite color. Wow. As if anyone couldn't tell by the fact that the Shifting Lanes Garage logo features orange. Just make this a little bigger. And I like the orange on black. I actually dig all of the graphics there. Wait, hold on.
I don't mind it. Like I said, that's why I know my reaction was very daddish, but like I overall don't mind it. I don't like the Hellcat logo. I'm starting to mind it. And caliper covers. Hate those.
But I really do like the overall vibe of it. Motor stock. It is a shade of orange. It comes across red, but yeah, that's the logo. Random. Maybe that's what we'll do. I'll do someone. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll do a post on Facebook and Instagram, and you guys can comment with pictures of your car. Hopefully, it's been a minute since I've done one of these.
Yeah,
and we'll take a look at. We'll do the virtual Shifting Lanes car show.
Yeah, I do like that. I do like that idea. Dan, Joseph is really on this Greg's Tuk thing.
Yeah,
I feel like I've ignored the comment. I've seen them, but I've been like, there's really something there.
Yes. Joe likes to give me homework assignments. It's like, and he even made reference to when I said you're not my supervisor.
Oh yes.
I can find it. Open a new tab. All right. So, just for the sake of, my man went to town with some AI, and it's not bad.
Oh my gosh!
Just take chat and move that aside for this.
That is something.
Side pipes that are way too big for it. Also, I'm pretty sure those are rear-engined.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like that's not where the engine is, so the exhaust doesn't make a lot of sense. But it's got like, look at that sport bike, like front fork and brake.
yeah. On mismatched tires.
275 front tire.
Yeah.
And speaking of it, that's tire lettering done right. Look at that. It says Michelin.
A little clearer image of it. But yeah. That was Joe's. And it says something mate 2 sport on the tires as well on this one. And anywho, going back here. Twin turbo booster powered tuk-tuk. Yeah, let's find out new and creative ways to kill people.
Yeah, that would be unstable very quickly.
Um, don't think of it as beating up, Chris. Think of it as um, how do I phrase this? Constructive criticism in dad voice. All it needs, yes. And speaking of repeat comments, all it needs is the Toyota Diagnostics hammer. That is something I would absolutely want to buy from that. I would buy from Snap-on, because did you see that news, Elliot? I don't know if you watched our video. I don't expect you to watch all of our stuff.
I really do try to watch as much as I can, but I did not see that one.
So you know how Toyota has, I think it's like almost 300,000 recalls on the 3.44 liter twin turbocharged engine, basically their replacement for the 5.7 V8,
right,
that they're putting in everything. Well, they have a recall on it. Turns out there's shavings from machining getting into the engine, and they take out, among other things, the number 1 bearing. I'm guessing rod bearing.
Yeah.
And it kills the engines. Well, apparently a good engine vibrates at a certain resonancy or frequency or resonance, and a bad engine vibrates at a different one. So when off, their technicians are instructed to hook it up to a bunch of, like, basically it's like a automotive EKG, all these different sensors.
It's a thing that's just listening to the resonance of how much it's vibrating.
So they hit it with a hammer, turning it into a tuning fork, and the computer will sit here and say it's good, or it'll say it's bad, or it's you hit it too hard, or you hit it too soft. And that's their new figuring out if this thing works.
That's awesome.
Like, the main bearing, first main bearing, Louis says. So it's like,
it's okay. Taking out any bearing generally is not good. So
yeah, that's going to lead to basically the automotive equivalent of severe arthritis.
Yeah. Spontaneous disassembly. Like, that's funny though. I do love it, and I hope it's a beautiful, like, uniquely designed hammer, not just like a regular.
Like I'm just picturing like the most, like almost the hammer from Shawshank, right? Where it's like a delicate hammer, but it's like Snap-on, so it's like $600. Let's see here. First main. They probably use the engine's knock sensors to get frequency. Yeah, I'm sure that. Yeah, actually, that's a great point, because one of the things you have to tune for when putting a centrifugal supercharger on a Coyote, more so the ones with the rear-facing intake, so like it goes into the engine bay, as opposed to mine, which came across the front and used the stock intake. But the way centrifugals do is that they would in at times, if you're not careful or tuning for it, trip the knock sensor. So, let's see here.
Didn't have a problem with that on the C7 Corvette. Just saying.
I mean, I never. That wasn't the problem with my Mustang.
yours had spontaneous combustion.
Spontaneous battery fail. Spontaneous
inflammation.
Epic explosive battery failure.
I don't know. Yeah.
Which is why, like, that's made me dislike EVs or distrust EVs more. I know it's a completely different technology. Let's just be
no, but it's okay. You're just associating bad experience with potential bigger bad experience.
Yeah. To such a degree that I've priced out rear mount battery kits for my car when the time comes that we put the new motor in her. Okay, Chris goes about the Hellcat emblem is a joke because it's like putting a snail emblem on a turbo car. Okay.
It is, but I also don't mind a snail emblem on a turbo car because it's true. That's like the only thing I have about that. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, one of the cars that they have at Moxie that I kind of want to do a review on is they have one of those late 70s turbo Trans Ams.
Ooh. With basically, those are basically the same motor as the Grand Nationals.
Yeah, GNX, exactly. Yeah. But they have, and then they have that like the hood scoop, the hood cowl, like the raised hood area, but that's not really functional. But it has little LEDs for boost gauge on the hood. It's so cool.
And Chris, we'll have to. Maybe that's what we could do because those engines are turbocharged. Uh, we'll make a Hellcat emblem, but it is literally a snail, kind of like
Yeah,
the shifting lanes. Our Hellwinkle
yeah,
design,
your guys' thing. Yeah,
and it says booze shaker hood.
it's
Um,
not the shaker hood. I know it's I know what a shaker hood is. Former Mopar guy here, recovering.
Hi, my name's Elliot, and I've owned a Hellcat
Yeah,
for 2 years.
I
Or I so
I know, but then
I've got been without Hellcat for 2 years.
I also still have the like it's so cheesy, but like I think my mom or somebody got it for me for my like Christmas or something like that. But it's still in my garage in front of where I park. It says Hellcat parking only, and I'm parking like the Prius there. I'm like, yeah, sorry.
I mean, it's funny. This logo.
Dude, that's
So
cool that you're superimposing it over us right now.
yeah, it's almost like I have this all saved on my computer. It'd be better if
That's
like I do want this is gonna be so nerdy and it probably is a sign that might be time to wrap, but I want to mess around with like alpha, like green screening to where
mm,
I can have like graphics behind me. Um Nerdy stuff because like that's the stuff I've been playing around with and like trying to get better at with editing. Like you're doing that on Reels? Yes I am. But like I think one of my I had one. You ever edit Elliot? You'll know this. Like when you do something editing wise, and you're like, "Oh, that came out so good. I absolutely love that." Um,
yes.
I had one of those in.
It seems as though even the most reliable car companies
Hey,
can
we get
have
Greg's
recall
voice
problems sometimes.
on the show, even when he's not here. Can we get Rocky next time? Uh, no, like Hellwinkle. It was the play on words that I could do, but we did. Where is it? Uh, Oh, this right here. So pause. Um, bring it up. Um,
Oh yes.
like
Good. He's here, but he's not here.
he's here, but he's not here. But like my favorite part is he says the dash shut off, and I through editing make it shut off. But it gets better because this is my
Oh,
favorite thing of
that's
the year.
good. Oh.
Like the
I didn't see this one. See, I would have said again, the editor went crazy on this one
like
because that is next level what you've done.
like because the whole thing is about a recall about the dash shutting off, and yeah.
Wow.
Spoiler alert, it took me doing that and then making the thing turn off. Um, that was a quick one. That one was really easy and quick. But doing
Yeah.
this and making it work, I spent probably as much time trying to get the. I was gonna blur because I wasn't sure if like the algorithm was gonna hate double
I
birds.
think it's so buried in something else that it wouldn't recognize that.
Like, but like, yeah, it's like I have these moments of like editing. What's it like? It just.
It's editing genius is what I would call it.
I appreciate that, but like things that make me chuckle that I spend way too much time working on when I'm editing. Um, maybe Elliot can make fun of it on my car after I put it on. Um, nah, man. I mean, look. Uh,
No, I'm not gonna hurt anybody's feelings here. I just like it, especially I appreciate a Hellcat logo when it's funny. I
I
just
like
had a
the
feeling that the
irony
guy
of
with
it
that
is,
dart was dead serious.
no, um, no, like I said, I like the paint job on it. I like, uh, the interior is a little over the top for my take, but again, it's your car. You're the one driving it. You're the one who has to get in it and do it. So if like you enjoy it, it's totally fine.
Right.
Totally fine by me. But on that note, um Elliot, why don't you once again remind people where they can find you and send us off as again,
Yeah.
you're filling in for the Shifting Lanes dad and Greg, and you are in fact a father. Send us
I am.
off with your dad advice for the week.
Ooh, dad advice for the week. School's starting back up. So dad advice for the week, and this applies to everybody. You really can't beat a good night's rest. You're gonna wake up feeling more refreshed, even if it's tempting to stay up and scroll. and watch more shifting lanes reels and do all that stuff, a good night's rest is going to really get your future. You will thank you.
Yes. There's, I actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I was reading a post earlier today on, on the benefits of sleep and what is actually happening. You know, like all this stuff that's good for your body and like all this other stuff. Obviously, we need to sleep. Also, Chris, I just came up with an idea. We're gonna call your car the Snail Cat because it's got a turbo.
Oh, there we go.
But yeah, like rest is important, and as some like. But here's the other thing. I'll piggyback on. Too much sleep is also a problem. Finding the butter zone is correct.
The butter zone. That's pretty good.
But on that note, I want to thank Elliott again for popping on. Always a good time when we have you on, and maybe at some point down the road we'll get the trio back together.
I know. I want to come on with Gregson Bay and actually hear, because it is fun when it's the three of us.
Oh, it isn't a turbo. Well then
it's not. Oh gosh.
Then we can't call it a Snail Cat. At any rate, yeah, we'll make that happen. Literally the trio that should have been the new Grand Tour trio.
I know, for real.
Not for nothing. I'd argue the three of us are more entertaining than that. Well, maybe not. That's like me stroking my ego quite more.
I'd agree, but also, which one of us is the train guy? You know.
We'll make it Greg just because he has kids, and I feel like kids
because
like
he's not here to defend himself.
Yes. Yeah, Greg, go train spotting. But that was maybe somewhere down the road we could do the maybe we're not Grand Tour reboot worthy or even Top Gear reboot worthy, but damn it, I think we could do a reboot of Car Trek and make it pretty damn fun.
I think we could at least do knockoff Car Trek.
Yeah,
at the least.
At any rate, thanks to everyone who commented. Again, commenters make this show so much more interesting and make time fly by. Not that Elliott's conversation doesn't do that as well, but it's always fun to get you guys involved. Matthew, again, if you're still here, thank you for the stars. Thank you to everyone who shared. Thank you to everyone who went and subbed to Elliott, who went to sub to Brett, all that fun stuff. But for this one, that's going to be a wrap. And